What up, guys? TheMADScientist7890 here with my boy MVPScheer123r88. And for a while, we decided we want to do this channel where we do debates, discussions, different things about wrestling, past, present. We're going to be calling it the RSTS Express Wrestling. I'm not quite sure. I think in our mythical minds years ago that a couple of years ago,
in
high school, 5 years ago, I don't know, where we thought we were going to be a tag team, and then we realized that I'm fat and he's unathletic, and the only thing we can do is cut promos.
That's why it's Run Shit, Talk Shit Express.
This is what it stands for.
Yeah.
So
only thing we know how to do is cut promos. We didn't really run though, because we're not that athletic.
We're not that athletic. So we decided that instead of being wrestlers, we were going to talk about wrestling because we enjoyed it. So with this first topic here, this debate, we went over it a couple times. We had been talking about it a little bit, which we thought was a bigger match. Now, for sure, we know one of these matches is going to happen, barring possibly both, but barring unless one of these men die or something happens to them.
Just horrible.
Yeah, if one of them dies, this match won't happen. But the two matches we're going to talk about are The Rock versus John Cena, and the other match is CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, my man over here is on the side of Rock versus Cena as being a bigger match. I personally think and would enjoy more Austin versus Punk. I think it's better. So, I mean, we're going to debate this topic here, talk about why we think it's going to be better and whatnot. I'm going to let you go first here. What you think?
All right, well, first off, Rock versus Cena is possibly the biggest match in wrestling today. In all of wrestling, anywhere Japan, ROH, that one company that's in Orlando, or WWE. I think it's the biggest match. I think on match quality, I think The Rock is more athletic at this day and age than Stone Cold. I think John Cena and CM Punk are pretty close. I think CM Punk's a little overrated in the skills department. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think both The Rock, Cena, and then Punk and Austin cut great promos. I mean, the promos leading up to the matches would both be epic and excellent. But I think The Rock and John Cena, I just think the crowd would get behind The Rock more and make it more of a heel-face dynamic, where I think Punk and Austin would suffer from both being faces. And if you've seen Rock Hogan, Hogan was hugely cheered, and The Rock was hugely booed, and it made for such a great atmosphere. I think that's the same thing Rock and Cena. I think it's the biggest match they can do.
Yeah, I mean, it really is hard to pick because I do like both these matches, but me personally, I think a lot of people, and I don't agree with this currently, but a lot of people feel like CM Punk is that modern day Stone Cold Steve Austin, with his shoot promo he cut earlier this year and all the stuff he was doing, just leading into how anti-establishment he was, how that was with Stone Cold years ago, how he became that guy that was a bad guy but became liked. I feel that same dynamic with Punk, where Punk was was a heel for so long, and then he did all the stuff that he did, and people was liking him when he was a heel. Same thing that happened with Stone Cold. So the upbringing of both guys becoming superstars. I'm not completely sold on CM Punk being a complete megastar to the level of a Rock or a Stone Cold Steve Austin yet. I think it's possible that he can get to that level. This year definitely showed that it's possible, and that his merchandise is selling. Everyone wants to see him in main event matches. It's absolutely 100% obvious that Punk versus Cena this year is arguably the best match of the whole year. I mean, everything going into it, the storyline development. But I think what I would enjoy more, Rock is probably more athletic in his old age, but I think Stone Cold and Punk would have a very good storytelling dynamic. I think it would be, and you also got to throw in the aspect of Punk being straight edge and Stone Cold being that beer drinking type guy, which I think the storyline build up to that would be very good. I think the storyline for Rock and Cena is very good too. Rock, playing off of how people say he can't wrestle, and all his fans are women and kids. But I mean, personally, I think I would enjoy the match more. The crowd maybe, it's possible the crowd would be a lot more into Rock Cena because of how big the guys are. But I mean, personally, I think I would enjoy the match. I think the quality of the match would be better. I personally think it's better.
For Punk and
Punk and Austin. I truly think the match quality would be better.
here's the thing, okay? Punk just now shot up into, you know, main event, like, mainstay. Like being in the main event for a long period of time. Before this, you gotta remember, before this, Punk was a jobber for like 5 months before he cut the promo. Before he won the, what was it, triple threat against Del Rio and Mysterio. Yeah, he won the triple threat to get his match against Cena, and
I say upper mid card.
And he cut a great promo, and you know he was upper mid card, but he jobbed to Orton before that. I don't even remember. He jobbed to Big Show. I mean, the whole entire Straight Edge Society jobbed him. I mean, he wasn't getting put over very big. John Cena has been the top guy in the WWE since 2005, since WrestleMania 21 when he beat JBL, which, if I remember correctly, you said that you had heard that the reason they gave the title to John Cena at that time was because this was going to be the only time he was going to be champion. They had to give it to him now because he was going to go back to be a mid-card status after this, which he was wrong on, because John Cena became the biggest thing WWE has. John Cena sells merchandise. Yes, CM Punk has probably sold I think he's sold the most merchandise in the last couple months, which is great for him. But he doesn't have the stability. John Cena is the guy. John Cena is WWE of today. Rock is WWE of the Attitude Era of yesteryear. I mean, him and Stone Cold. See, the thing is, you could say Rock and Stone Cold were probably just as big as each other. Maybe Stone Cold was a little bit bigger than The Rock. But John Cena was very much bigger than CM Punk for the past 6 years. Just, he's been, the spokesperson of the WWE, Punk's been the voice of the voiceless. Like, nobody cares about that because John Cena is the actual spokesperson for the company. He goes out and he does all the PR. If you look back at his matches, he's had a lot of great matches. If they come out with the best of John Cena DVD, where they put all of his best matches together, it's going to be a pretty damn good collection. I mean, he's had a great last match against Edge. He pulled great matches out of Umaga. He had, great matches with Shawn Michaels, great matches with Triple H. I mean, the guy brings the goods to all of his matches. I mean, especially if they're big time. Like, say, like you said, he was saying, John Cena and Undertaker is the biggest match they can do. And I think he's got a valid point there. It could be the biggest match they do. If they do it at, say, WrestleMania 30, streak versus title or whatever, if they have maybe John Cena possibly break the streak and turn heel. But yeah, I mean, I think that John Cena and The Rock, I just think it's bigger. I just think The Rock and Austin are on equal level. I think John Cena is a bigger star than CM Punk, and I think it would get a greater reaction of the audience. I think if you had to ask WWE, if you had to ask Vince McMahon, who would they put on last out of those two matches? If both matches are at WrestleMania 28 this year, which they very well could be, what main events? I think John Cena Rock main events every time.
I mean, I know they've been talking about Stone Cold, who has been getting in shape, and with the whole Tough Enough thing, he said he can go, he can have a couple more matches.
He had a great 2-minute match against Luke.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying, he can go into, he says he's in great shape now. I mean, if you look at him, obviously he's not in the shape of Rock, but I'm looking for more of the, I mean, there's so much athletic ability, the stamina between The Rock and Cena is going to be, there. I'm personally, I've evolved as a fan. I've evolved as a fan to where, the storytelling aspect of a match is really something that draws me in. I can, if I want to see an athletic, stamina-filled wrestling match that goes 25, 30 minutes, I'll click over to a Ring of Honor pay-per-view or, a show and watch that. With today's wrestling, there's really no substance in a lot of matches. A lot of matches are just matches. They're not, they don't really have a purpose. They don't have a reason. The build up to the Cena versus Rock, the whole feud behind this is great. I think it's a good concept. But I think the concept, if they really worked with it, of Stone Cold being the beer drinker and Punk being the straight edge thing, and building off of that, and like I said, Rock cuts great promos, but I think that the dynamic that these guys could have in the ring, to me, I think Punk, knowing that he's getting in the ring with a icon of the business like Stone Cold Steve Austin, I truly feel like he wants to pull the greatest match possible out of Stone Cold, and maybe even his career, maybe the best match he's, I think CM Punk's that kind of guy that when he was in Ring of Honor, a lot of people look, past all that stuff, and once he hit WWE, he was a complete jobber. His first, 3 or 4 years that he was there, he didn't do anything. That's true, but everyone discounts everything he's done, on the Indies and Ring of Honor, and he can bring the goods. He can have that great match, that psychology with a guy like Stone Cold. I don't know. I just feel like in a big match atmosphere, I think the match itself would be better. I think the big time feel, yes, The Rock Cena's there because you're looking at, you know, the two bigger guys. You know, it is. And here's the thing, and I get his point, how it being, you know, Hogan had that match against The Rock, you know, years ago at 18, and you know it was kind of a passing of the torch type thing there, even though The Rock was leaving, but it was a passing of the torch thing like that. Now they're doing The Rock versus Cena being a passing of the torch type thing like that as well. You know, we have also argued the thing of he thinks John Cena is going to win regardless of what's going to happen. You know, do you think? I mean, even if there isn't a title on it,
I think Cena's got it. I think Cena wins, no matter what stipulations are on the match. Cena's going to come out on top. And I think the biggest thing here is, you know, yeah, you can say that The Rock and CM Punk cut a great storyline going into the match, but John Cena and The Rock have had a storyline going for the past couple of years with Cena trying to call him out, and then you know, leading in, they built it from WrestleMania 27 to WrestleMania 28. We always knew we were going to get this match, and they may not have done the best with it, you know, since then. I mean, it's hard to fill in, you know, a year's worth of storyline when one of the guys doesn't show up. But I think once we get to, you know, WrestleMania crunch time, I mean, the demographic of, you know, the mature audience, you know, for The Rock, and then, you know, the kids and the women for Cena. I think that's a great demographic. I think that's a great trade-off. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it's going to get a huge reaction in Miami. It's in The Rock's hometown. I mean, yeah. I mean, so that automatically, you know, makes Cena. I mean, he's going to be the number one heel. He's going to be more of a heel there, possibly, than he was against Punk in Chicago, because there's going to be more people there. And people are going to be clamoring for The Rock to come back and make a return to the ring, which I think the Survivor Series thing is terrible, but we can get into that later. But I think Rock coming back.
I mean, it's interesting because here's my thought on this. They run this like this all the time. They run it to where, you know, they always, and how your idea is, you think the match is going to be better because of, you know, one side's going to be booing hardcore and the other side's going to be cheering for one guy hardcore. I think the idea of it being, you know, Smarks versus, you know, a regular fan of a John Cena, I think that's happened so many times throughout history in wrestling. The idea of having two guys like Stone Cold and CM Punk, who are you know, smart wrestlers who are fans of these guys because they, you know, they don't try to sell you a load of BS. I think it'd be interesting to see how the crowd reacts to these guys, because it's going to be, you know, cheer boo through different guys. You know, Punk has his fans, Stone Cold has his fans. I think the crowd, honestly think the crowd will be, I mean, not as loud, but I think the crowd will be more hostile with Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin, honestly. But that's just my personal opinion. You know, here's the thing. We know one's going to happen for sure. Rock Cena. It's going to, you know, it's going to main event WrestleMania, not a doubt in my mind. You know, I think it will main event over, even if Punk and Stone Cold's on the card. We don't know for sure if that's going to be on there. We don't know. But, you know, putting both of these on the card, you know, we really would not know and really would not be able to, you know, say for sure which one would be better unless it actually happens.
And another big thing I want to get in here real quick is, if they do have both on the card, does Punk and Stone Cold kill Cena and Rock's crowd involvement?
Because, well, here's the thing.
It could kill it because
if it starts
they get
before,
tired off.
if it starts before, because that's been a problem at WrestleManias throughout the years. Is you know,
Michael's Taker.
Yeah, you know, Michael's Taker really killed any momentum, you know, that Orton and Triple H had at 25. So, I mean, you could be looking at Punk and Stone Cold, if they have a match, really killing that heat for that Rock match, but only time can tell. So, you know, like I said, I'm the TheMADScientist7890 here. This is our first debate on this topic. You know, let us know some comments, what you guys think in the description. If there's a topic you guys want us to talk about, debate on, or discuss, you know, our thoughts on, let us know. Like I said, we are RSTS Express Wrestling. First video here. Please watch, please subscribe. Thanks, guys, and peace.